Hello, hello. How we doing, everybody? Let's see. Definitely need a sound check today because I've got this microphone on right here that Mary laughed at where I put it and how it looked. No, it was not very nice. Made me feel self-conscious about it. Hi, Kelly. Where are you coming on? So everyone who hops on, definitely let us know where you're watching from. Sound is good. Is it perfect? Sue, is it perfect? The sound, is it good or is it perfect? All right, we're using the microphone. It should be amazing. It should be the best sound we've ever had. All right. Perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect.
She goes, perfect. You're awesome. Now, what about, let's do another test. Mary
Hi.
is there. She's already inside. Best ever. Now, when Mary talks, and I'm not going to go near, you talk, Mary. Say something.
Hi, everybody.
You have to say more than that.
Oh.
It's like a sound check.
But
Check.
You're making me look up into the sun. Okay. Sound check. We're going to do some swimming today, which we haven't done in a bit.
Nope, we're going to talk about swim pretty much primarily.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome, everybody.
All right.
Sorry, the sun is bright. It's
Sound is
actually
good?
not very bright until you look up into it.
Still amazing.
Awesome.
Sue, you're the best. Mama, how are you? Okay, everybody. So what happened, it's really hot outside. The sun is hiding behind one tree. Actually, you can see it right there. And a little bit of a cloud. So we're gonna sneak right in here and do it. We were gonna go inside today, but it was so nice outside as far as the sky went, and Susan likes the water. So, with the sunshine, so we went outside. It's hot. We're gonna do this. Hello. And the other thing was, I'll be honest with you, we're dreading winter already, and I realize it's like 90 degrees, but in 3, 4, 5 months, we're going to be sitting there wishing we had gone outside every single time we can. So we're outside every single time we can. The weather is good, so we're going to do it here anyway.
I don't think it's as hot as it was when
It's
my
not.
parents were
It's
here.
definitely not.
It's nice.
No, it's actually nice. That one last tree, we had 11 trees taken down.
Wow.
You can actually see, let me spin it around. Or did I already show that?
Yeah, the last time the trees had come.
So that whole space was covered by trees. We did some pressure washing and everything as we're really out here using this baby. And as you can see, if anyone wants to do a water check, water's looking sharp. Really good. I vacuumed last night. Spotless. Perfect. Filters are good. We're ready to go. So,
cool.
All right. So one thing that we always do, speaking of swimming and exercising in here, one of our questions is about walking against the current. And those you guys know us pretty well. We're pretty transparent. We really certainly try to be. If our water's messed up, I admitted it. Came home after vacation, it was messed up. We fixed it. So we're pretty open. Mary, I don't know if I'm sure they do know this story. I'm going to talk about you. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So the last full Ironman that we did.
No, I just didn't know where you were going with this.
I don't know where I'm going with this. That makes two of us.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she had a stress fracture in her foot, and she ended up walking that 26 miles of that last Ironman on a broken foot. And she completed it. I would not have done that. And I was a Marine. I would have never done that. I don't know why she did. I still to this day don't know why she did, but she's really tough. So, but anyway, so she's got, and it's happened twice in all of, the last 10 or 15 years of training?
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years? I think it's more than that.
Probably now,
It's
yeah.
probably more than 10 years of training. It's just happened twice. It's happened a third time. So she's got all the same stuff. The stress fracture is starting. So what do you do when that happens? No more run, all in the water. Mm-hmm. So right into the swim spa. Lucky for us, we happen to have access to two. Although Mary trains at the warehouse, she doesn't train up at my house. It's not that she can, it's just a little further away, and no real reason to do that. And we keep ours really freaking hot. So, although I did swim in it yesterday and it was hot, but it was all right.
It feels good when you first get in, but if you're working
well,
out,
we're using it at nighttime.
Warm it is.
Yeah, right. We're using it at nighttime too. As soon as there's a chill in the air, you need that warmth. Yeah. Otherwise, you're shivering. So it works real well. Okay, so today what we're going to talk about, I've got a little cheat sheet I don't think I need it. We're going to talk about swimming specifically. Crawl stroke. Crawl stroke is the fastest stroke, or at least it's supposed to be. If it's not, you need to have a coach look at your swimming. So that's the one that we always talk about because it requires the most amount of moving water to swim against. Okay, so we're going to talk about crawl stroke, everything we're talking today, and besides that, Mary and I don't do any other stroke. All right, so
Please don't ask me
yeah,
to do anything.
Mary, you're going to butterfly today. We'll have to relocate both of her shoulders. They'll dislocate. Is relocate?
I don't know.
She'll dislocate both shoulders either way if we tried to make her fly. So we're not going to do that.
I have no idea how to do butterfly.
No. You know what? It might be fun to try. No, don't do it.
No.
You'll rip a shoulder.
I have enough going on.
Yeah, enough broken stuff. So we're going to talk about swim speeds. We're going to talk about the trainer, the Phelps. So first thing, you know what? Do you want to on the difference between the trainer, the Challenger, and the Phelps?
Yeah, sure.
Let me spin this around.
Oh, hi, with my nice little cap.
Oh, that looks awesome.
I know. I will say, if anyone is, it is much easier to swim in here if you have hair, that long hair. It is much easier to swim with a cap. It just, your hair very quickly goes wild with the current. So
actually, I'd like to add something. For those of us who don't have long hair, we appreciate it if you tie your freaking rat's nests up so that it's not floating around in the water.
Oh, I always do.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm getting prepared for the swim. So bear with me with this thing. But
it looks awesome.
Anyway, we get this question a lot. We have Master Spas makes 3 different types of swim spas.
Do you want me to move so it's not the sun?
No, that just a little bit lower, yeah. So we are in a Challenger 15 deep. It's an H2X, and the H2X are our jetted swim spas. So we have, I'm going to just, so that I can hear myself better. So we have the Challenger. Don's laughing at me. You all can.
It looks so stupid.
Oh, God, let me take that.
It looks so stupid. Nice hat.
Okay, so anyway, the Challenger 15, which we're in, is an H2X, which is one of our jetted swim spas. And the Challenger has 3 pumps and no air. And we've talked about this before. It's a very clean current. There's no bubbles. It's a wide current with the 3 jets on the front, or 3 jets at the top. And then our H2X Trainer is also a jetted swim spa, but it has 2 pumps and it's injected with air. So there are some bubbles, but it's perfectly capable of swimming really well, actually. We have done a video last winter time where we did some swimming in an H2X Trainer 15. So it's perfectly capable of. It's just going to be a slower, longer distance pace swim. So we usually tell folks that if it's a trainer series, you're going to be about a 1:45 or a minute 50 per 100 meters. Whereas in the Challenger, the regular Challenger, like this one, the Challenger 15 deep, you're going to be about a 1:20 per 100 meters, so a minute and 20 seconds per 100 meters. We also, Master Spas also makes an H2X Trainer 18 Pro, which is new, is our new Challenger swim spa. And that has the same 3 pumps without any air, but the pumps are in the front of the swim spa, closest to where the current is coming out, versus the back of the swim spa, which is like it is in this Challenger 15. So that made us be able to push a lot more water to swim against in the Challenger 18 Pro, which we decided swims about a 1 minute and 10 seconds per 100 meters. And then those are our H2X series swim spas. And then Master Spas also makes the Michael Phelps swim spa. And that is for crazy swimming, way more than I need, certainly. But and there's 3. There's a Michael Phelps Force, a Michael Phelps Signature, and a Michael Phelps Momentum. The Momentum is the one that has the separate hot tub in the back. And right now they all swim at about a 54, 55 second per 100 meters at that top speed. And the biggest difference between the H2X and the Michael Phelps is that the Michael Phelps is actually a propeller that creates the current rather than jets. So it's a propulsion system where a propeller is
true propulsion,
water. Yeah. And that's why it has the capability to push a lot more water so that you could swim a lot faster against that current. So so those are the 3 different types of swim spas, and one of them is right for each person. There, we make the 3 different lines, and actually 4 different types, because there are different types of swimmers with different goals. So we've got something for everybody ultimately. And for me, and I think for Ben, I speak for Ben as well, that the Challenger 15 really hits that sweet spot for us. There's enough room for us to really swim aggressively at our aggressive pace at least, and also a nice way to kind of do some more gentle swims as well. There's a lot of adjustability in here, as there is in the H2X Trainer 15 or any of the trainers as well. So that's what's really neat about all of the different lines, is that you can go nice and slow at a lower number, or you can push it up to be, super fast like in the Michael Phelps. So those are the 3 different lines, and some differences between the 3 if we're cutting it down to just a couple minutes, but there's a little overview.
All right. That might be the most we've ever heard Mary speak all at once. Uninterrupted, without stopping, I think for sure. She's putting her hat back on. She's got a Master Spa's hat on, so do I. Mine's cooler looking.
Yours is definitely cooler looking.
It's definitely cooler looking. So, okay, I would like to take a second here, because one of our questions... Is it one of the questions? How much chlorine? No. Fast pace? No. Okay. So, anyway, when it comes to speed in a swim spa, you guys got to remember that we're, and this is all manufacturers, we're measuring moving water inside of a box, okay? And there is no exact equation, there is no exact science, there is no exact measurement on how you measure speed in a swim spa. And this is going to tie in no matter what kind of swim spa you have, because, some of them, like the Phelps, will kick out how far you've gone. It's just based on math, okay? It's not based on measurement of actual flowing water. It's just based on math. And that's the thing you need to be aware of. It's always going to be, it's wrong, actually. So it's just like if you measure body fat on a human, unless you have one really good method, but if you have a caliper or something like that, every time you measure it, it's wrong, but it's always the same amount of wrong, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So what we do is, this is a Garmin 945. I put it on open water swim, and then if I'm outside at home, I have to turn the GPS off, because it will try to measure me swimming by GPS, which it's going to say I swam, 12 inches. So, or if we're in the warehouse, it blocks the GPS signal and you can leave it on, and that works fine. But that's how we do it. Set it on open swim with a watch like this, and it's going to count strokes and then come up with, your average distance on there, and it's not going to be exactly right, but it's always going to be the same amount of not exactly right. All right. And it's based on, stroke length will mess it up. If you're really, grabbing water and really stretching long, it's gonna say you're going further, or I'm sorry, slower than that. So it's just the faster the turnover rate, it'll think you're going farther, distance. So it's not perfect, but that's how we do it, and it works real well. There are swim spas out there that measure. I've seen it. I'm not going to name names. This one company says that they move 5,000 gallons of water a minute on their swim spa, and that's how fast it goes. They don't say speed, they say 5,000 gallons a minute, which is more than double of what we know the Michael Phelps actually pushes, and the Michael Phelps is the fastest swim spa, portable swim spa in the world. So there's literally no possible way that that's true. What the heck is that thing?
It's
quite a... Man, you could hear those wings flapping. So there's no way it's true. So when you hear this stuff, when you read this stuff, take it with a grain of salt. There's no possible way, and I'll tell you right now, no one has spent more time, more money than Master Spas has trying to get accurate measurements. I mean, no one, not even close. So, I can tell you from the inside, track how much work we have done to get those speeds, and we know that we're fairly close with them. Okay, so our speeds, the 150 on the H2X Trainer, the 120 on the Challenger, the 110 on the Challenger Pro, and the 54 on the Phelps. We know that we're really pretty close. Certainly, I feel that it's the best measurement in the entire industry, and I have looked at all of them, and I just don't think anyone really knows what they're doing or putting the time into figuring it out. Okay, so on that note, let's probably start some swimming.
All right.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about is it's your first swim. So how do you do this? All right. So this is what happens as a first swim in a swim spa, and this happens all the time. People test swim, and we tell them, look, get in there and start swimming gently. Feel the water. Swimmers will know what that means. Feel the water. I want you to kind of get an actual feeling of how much water is moving. If you just get in there and sprint out, you're going to overpower the Challenger, you're going to overpower the Trainer. You won't overpower the Phelps on full, but you'll overpower most swim spas. And that's not realistic. It's not how you would swim if you were doing a 30-minute swim. And people are, well, they're dumb, all right? And they don't ever listen. Children listen better than adults do when it comes to that. Children swimmers are always better with that stuff, all right? So when you get in there, just swim gentle. Doesn't matter what your level is. Turn the pumps on slow, swim slow, and then adjust it as necessary, and we'll kind of get into how to switch them around. Cam, show the spa. I will when I'm done talking. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to show the swim toys, which is how we really try to teach people to get used to it. That's how we're going to do it today. So for Mary, what's your sweet spot swimming? This is for you, Cam. I'm going to turn it around now, if that's okay with you.
So I like either low or high. If I'm going a little bit more gentle, I like pump one on low, honestly. But usually I put it on high. So pump one on high. And for a nice gentle pace, like a warm-up pace, 7 VSPs on 7 or 8 is a nice gentle pace.
Did you say 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want high 7, 8, 7, 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so now in a Challenger, how we say this, if Mary and I are training and she wants me to set the speed, she'll say pump 1 is high-low, and then you have VSP 1 and 2. So how we communicate that to each other is high, 8, 8. So high on pump 1, 8, 8 on VSPs 1 and 2. So she's going to go to, what are you going to do, timed workout?
Yeah.
Timed workout. She's going to set it 40 minutes. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me turn this around. That's the screen. There you go. So that right there is high. The other one is low, and then obviously off. VSPs are 7 and 7. So Mary has no swim toys. There we go. Smooth, smooth. What's up, Kirk? How you doing, man? Now, what I'd like to point out, she didn't start in there and just crank and start swimming as fast as she can. And if you look from her tips of her fingers, they're about 3 feet, maybe even 4 feet from the front. If you swim with your fingertips up here, you're not in the current. The current is back there. Now, she's back pretty far, but the water is perfect there. Okay? I'll stand back so I can get as much of this in as possible. And that's on actually quite low. Those VSPs go 25 and 25. She's on 7. So pump 1 is on high, and VSPs are on 7. Okay? All right. Let's stop her for a second. Now I'm going to convert this to a trainer for you. Okay. Take a rest. So now what I'd like to do is I want to actually have it turned down. I'm going to turn pump 1 off.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to let you do that. I'll point. So that's how you, in the middle of the workout, you can do that. Now pump 1 is off. Now VSP, and this was one of the questions we were talking about, VSPs 1 and 2 are both at 7. So now this is going to be what an H2X Trainer is like. You're only going to have 2 pumps there. So I'm turning up the VSPs. Let's go to 20. Right now, pump 1 is off. So this is going to be more like your H2X. Now the H2X has high and low on pump 1 and it's just 1 speed on pump 2. So that would be the same as if you were on high and high, that'll be the same right there as an H2X Trainer 15. And then of course you would take the big diverter valve, the big one, the little one does the waterfalls, and then this one over here to divert water away if that was too fast. Go ahead and show us that, Mare. Just swim 10 strokes or so. Jackie, I love the snorkel too. So someone asked if you can swim in a Challenger with your main pump off and VSPs 1 and 2, and the answer is yes, you just witnessed it. Now what you see here, that water is clear as can be, because remember, on the Challenger there is no air injected in there, and that water is clear just like a true propulsion swim spa, and this is the claim to fame. You can turn that down. This is the claim to fame of the Challenger, is that you get swim quality just like that of a propulsion, and obviously they're not quite as expensive as a Michael Phelps, true propulsion swim spa. So there's a sweet spot and a price point for everyone. The catch to that is if this isn't fast enough because you're a maniac swimmer, well, then it's just like a maniac race car driver. They're going to pay big money for a maniac car. All right? So that's how we do that. Now, setting the right speed, I'm going to flip this back. Oh. I'm not sure how I feel about this mic. So on the figuring out your speeds, guys, this is one of those things where you're going to need to do some of that work yourself. Yeah. Okay? And I know people don't like to hear that. I'm gonna beat up the Facebook group a little bit. People will hop on there and they'll ask the same question that's been asked 1,000 times. They won't search for 1 second for the answer before they ask. And poor Mike Leahy is, yeah. Oh my God, you guys are going to make him quit. You're going to make him fold up shop.
Is trial and error.
Sure,
like,
of course it is.
What pace can you hold? And
absolutely.
And if you're doing a workout, you want to adjust your speed. Do some intervals, or you might have a day where you just do.
Or speed, you should do a familiarization swim. I mean, if you were a pilot and you just went in a new airplane, you would go up there and do basic stuff before you went on a trip or before you went into combat. There's no difference between that. You have to learn the process.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
it's when you first get one, it's weird.
It's confusing.
It takes some time to get used to swimming in a box. Especially when you're used to swimming, in a lane at a pool or even open water swimming. This is very different. There's a sweet spot that you have to find, and you kind of have to get your bearings and figure out how to stay in the middle and not, figure out your stroke so that you stay there. So there is a learning curve here. And with that learning curve, you'll also figure out which speed you like for warm-up pace, what speed is a little bit more challenging for, like, a little bit more of a tempo pace, and then maybe like a threshold or a more aggressive pace. So there's a way to kind of ramp up your swimming and do intervals or adjust your speed depending on the type of workout that you've got going for the day.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the bottom line is your first swim in a swim spa you should probably plan on it not going as planned. You should plan on it being messy. You should plan on it being harder than you thought it was going to be, because it is harder to swim in a swim spot than it is in a pool or a swamp or a pond or whatever. Ocean.
I've been swimming in a swim spot for a long time now, and I still have some messy swims.
Let me tell you something. I don't know anyone on earth who has more time in a swim spot than you do. That's probably true.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, if there is someone who has more time than Mary, we'd probably know them. And I don't think it's possible. So, it's just, you got to put some time in, you got to learn it. And the other thing that you need to remember is that when you're swimming in a swim spot, it doesn't matter which one you chose, you're going to have a situation where your first time you swim for, and this is what we tell people to wet test. They overswim it, they don't listen, they overswim it immediately. It's not fast enough. You know what? Try swimming for 5 minutes without stopping first. Right. Before you swim for 15 seconds and decide there's not enough power there. All right? Swim for 5 minutes, because it requires, and you guys have heard us say this before, it requires significantly more core engagement to swim in a swim spa than it does, in a pool. So that's the whole thing. You need to figure all that stuff out. All those muscles need to strengthen. And even with me, when I don't swim a lot, and then yesterday I have not been swimming a lot at all, then yesterday I went in and I did a 30-minute swim. Oh, dude, it was like starting over again. And that's okay. That's the way it is. The people who don't feel that are your amazing swimmers. Just people who are crazy strong. They've been swimming their whole life. But they're the exception to the rule. Most of us are messy swimmers, and that's okay. Okay? So, let's see. We got all kinds of comments on here, but it's bright out. I can't quite see them all. Okay, what do you want to show next, Mare?
Do you want to do some swim toys?
Yeah, good idea. All right, let me turn this around. Okay, so when I teach someone how to swim in a swim spa new, from scratch, the first thing that you want to do is set the pace wherever it's comfortable to swim as long as you can. Okay, and when I say as long as you can, I'm not talking about a half an hour. I'm talking about 2 minutes. Okay, because it's going to be that hard. It's harder to swim here. So what are you going to go to? Go.
I have it on 10 and low.
So low 10-10?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mary's on low 10-10, which is not, you can see that water. It looks nice and gentle. It's moving, but it's not crazy. So hang on one sec. So what I would have someone do is swim with no swim toys as long as they can. All right? And then the next thing I want you to do is add, go ahead. Now you can put that on. So you just went for 2 minutes. I would say go do 3 sets of that as long as you can. And then you're going to put the snorkel on. And then while Mary's swimming with the snorkel, Mary, swim a while. All right? She's like, oh yeah, sure. So now she doesn't have to worry about, that sun is so bright, I can barely see her. She doesn't have to worry about her breathing, and that's when people, especially new swimmers, start to get really messed up on the breathing. As soon as you lift your chin and you turn to breathe and your feet drop, and then you're a mess. So the snorkel puts your chin in the right position. So if you notice, her feet are breaking the top of the water. Okay, her swim posture is great. Her chin is down. All she's worried about is her stroke and her swim position in the water. And the snorkel makes that way easier. Okay? So then what she's going to do, she's going to do this for a while. And you can do it with the pull buoy first and then add the snorkel last, or you can go this way. It doesn't make any difference. All right? All it's going to do is every toy you add, and that's the pull buoy right there, every toy you add makes swimming easier in a swim spa, pool, ocean. That is universal across the board. Okay? Hand position is good. She's not crossing over. She looks really, really good. Okay? Mare, that looked great. So now let's take that off and let's go just the pull buoy.
I love this thing.
Yep. Oh, the pull buoy is the. Let me tell you, you float in there, I sink. So the pull buoy is my best friend. All right. Until I have a lot of hours under my belt swimming, my posture is not great. I'm a weightlifter by trade, not a swimmer. Okay. So now, what happens when you use a pull buoy? You're not using a whole lot of legs. Okay. You're using great posture. You're using your upper body, your swim stroke. So, but it is going to make her float easier in the water than it would without it. And it is much easier to swim with that pull buoy than without any toy at all. All right? So then from there, she's going to swim, and she could do that all day long. We'll let her swim for a few minutes, or a minute, or a few seconds, or whatever she feels like. I'm kind of hiding behind one of the covers in the shade here. We can stop her. Oh, she stopped.
Both?
You set your watch?
I did.
Oh boy. Is your GPS off?
Yeah.
You did, you little smarty pants.
I need to make this, I'll go easy, but it's a little bit too easy.
Oh, you want me to turn it up?
Yeah. Maybe like 13 or 14.
14 it is. So now she's got the snorkel and the pull buoy. So now she's going to float like a leaf. She doesn't have to worry about breathing. She could do this literally all day. Her heart rate, if you were monitoring with a heart rate monitor, she'd see a drop in her heart rate and it would be easy. So every time you get those muscles tired, you add a swim toy so that you can go further and further. And you do this every time until you're good at it, until those muscles strengthen, okay? That's how you do it. Brian, the snorkel is it's just magic. It's just magic, especially in a swim spa. I mean, it helps you learn when you're in a pool, especially when you're not a lifelong swimmer. But in the swim spa, man, it just makes a huge difference. And if you guys look, there's a couple different kinds. There's one that really goes to the back of your head. If you see this one, this Finis, it goes straight up and works awesome. You need the taller one in a swim spa. Not so much now, the water's calm, but if we crank this up on her, she'd get some water in there, okay? Awesome. Okay, so right now, you guys could see her swim. She is on low 14-14.
Nice and gentle. Nice and gentle.
Do you want to show full speed?
Sure.
Do you want to use the snorkel or pull buoy or nothing or what?
I'll use the pull buoy.
Okay.
The snorkel. For me.
All the way, full speed.
Oh. Okay. I don't know if I get how long I can.
Hey Mary, just get it done, okay? Just figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. I know you can do this.
I was okay. Go ahead.
Rachel, you bring up the snorkel and pull buoy, yet it doesn't come with the units. My customers would like these items. That's a question you're going to have to deal with directly with Master.
We just get them on Amazon. They're not very expensive at all.
I don't foresee Master getting into the business of manufacturing this stuff, to be honest with you. It's probably unnecessary. So easy to get. Although, you know what? Jerry, remember they put the package together? So at the dealer level, we have a dealer in Alabama, Jerry, an amazing guy, and they put together the package of all this stuff, and they sell it as a package right through their store. So you're welcome to do that, Rachel, okay? All right, Mary's cranking it up. Pam, swimming in a 15 is the same as this. Yeah. Awesome. High 25-25. She's getting a little tired. She's pushing back. How'd that feel?
Actually, it's not too bad.
It looked good. You look great.
I actually think it would have been better without the pull buoy.
You want to try it again?
Yeah.
We'll even it up. Full speed. Oh, I got you, Pam. Yeah, we can talk about that. We'll let Mary do one more full pressure blast. No toys. Now she's kicking. How you feeling? You getting tired?
I'm okay.
All right.
That is hard though for me. That's.
Oh, you look great. You look great. Super strong. All right, you can turn that down. Actually, let's turn that off. So Pam asked if we could show some ideas on how to adjust a Trainer 15 for swimming. Yes, absolutely. So
I mean, we can do that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you do it now.
Okay.
So, or do you want to hold? Do you want to take a rest and sit up on the edge and hold the camera?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. So, right now, this is for you, Pam. Pump 1 is off. Now you have 2 VSPs, so we're going to turn those all the way up. Okay. So this is the same as what you would have in a Trainer 15, except that there's no air in there, so you don't get the full idea of how much water it's moving. Now you see Mary's turning those diverters. I like to turn the other one. Actually, you know what? I can't say that. I'm pretty sure, Mary, that the back diverter is the top 2 jets on the Trainer 15 Deep. Someone could probably correct me on that. I think that's... So what's happening now, some of the water pressure is going from here to those jets. Did you turn it all the way?
No.
So about halfway?
Yeah.
So she turned them halfway, and then she's diverting water away. So
Maybe
it's...
not even a full half.
Okay, so she's slowing it down by turning and diverting the water elsewhere. So how you can mark that when you figure out exactly where you like it, I have had people take a Sharpie and make a mark lining it up on the diverter so they can put it right in the exact same spot, although you will be able to... Watching a video is so much easier than trying to figure out the discs. Yeah, it is. It is. So you can just adjust them, and when you find that sweet spot, you can actually make a little mark with a Sharpie. I've had people do that, and it works. And you'll know where your sweet spot is, and then from there, that'll give you your point of starting, your starting point, so that you can go a little harder, or you can go a little easier. Okay? You just, don't let the kids take Sharpies all over your beautiful swim spa. But it works real well. It's a great trick. So she's diverted. That's on 25-25, and she's diverted water away. You can see it coming out of the neck and shoulder jets. If you can't, I'll take a walk up. And that's how you slow down a Trainer 15. You just divert the water away from the swim side to the spa side, and it will slow down the swim. That's how you adjust it. Okay? And we have trained in a Trainer 15 for Ironman. We actually have...
What you tell people on the Trainer 15?
Let's turn that off. I don't know if we could hear you. You want to divert that back up here?
Yeah.
The splashy splash is making too much noise.
I think that you do on the Trainer 15. You used to do turn off the top ones.
Yep.
Lower the top ones.
Yep. Which I believe is the back.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So-
that helps
Totally helps.
with the
turbulence.
in your face.
So what Mary's saying is that on a Trainer 15 you have 4 jets. This is a Challenger, obviously it has 6. So now, right now, in a Trainer 15, I'm pretty sure that back diverter is the top 2 jets. Okay, you can quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So you're going to turn it on full blast, and then I like to take the top 2 jets and turn them down about 50%. So you're probably swimming at about 75% speed capability of the H2X Trainer 15, but what it does is it smooths out the top, because most of the turbulence that you see is from the top 2 jets, and it really smooths out that water and works fantastic. Okay, that's how we swam in there when we trained in a 15, and it worked really, really well. The other thing that I want to remind people, if you stick... That sort of freaked me out for a second. You got a text. We're using Mary's phone, and it had a text from Dad.
Oh.
And I was like...
I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb.
Well, my father's not texting much these days, so it freaked me out a little bit.
Oh.
So my father is no longer with us, everyone. So anyway, so what you're going to do is inside those jets, they're actually a little bit adjustable. Okay? So then what happens is you can actually take your fingers, when it's off, of course, and point the jets down a little bit. There's a little bit of adjustment in there. So, Mary, you can't really see it.
I'm not going to, but...
Because I have them where I like them.
Yeah.
Oop. The phone did that funky flip thing.
Oh.
So inside the jet...
So you have the silver part,
and inside is the actual jet.
That is the actual jet.
And you can move them a little bit. So on a H2X Trainer 15, it's even more important. I point them all the way down as much as they can, and it really makes that swim nice. Okay, so they are a little bit of adjustment in there. All right. Will this live event be saved and as a recorded video on the Facebook page? Yes, it will, and it will also be on our YouTube page. All right. What else? You want to grab the questions?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Don't throw my phone in the water.
No, there's only a few.
Yep.
My fingers are wet. One question is, what setting do you recommend for a fast-paced 15-minute walk? And that's from Terry in California. So Terry, it kind of depends on which swim spa you have. And fast is kind of relative. So
Certainly. Subjective.
I mean, honestly, if I right now I have no setting, nothing going on, and I can just move my legs a lot faster and my arms a lot faster, and I'm going at a fast pace. If I want to add some resistance, I kind of just in any of the swim spas, I would just adjust however I feel I want to have a little bit more
Right.
resistance versus less, and I guess it just kind of depends on how fast you're moving your legs. So that's a little bit subjective, and it kind of depends on which swim spa that you have. I will tell you that my dad does a lot of walking in the swim spa, and he puts the pump one on low, and he starts with the VSPs, because in the warehouse we have the Challenger 15. He puts the VSPs on 4, he starts there, and then he kind of goes up from there depending on what he wants to do in
Yep.
any particular workout. So, and he's moving pretty quickly for a walk pace anyway. So
I use low 18-18 when I run in place.
okay.
And it works well for me. We've got a couple of questions. Megan, how do you track distance if training for an open water swim? You must have hopped on here late. Megan, what we do is use the Garmin.
Go ahead and I'll show them what I did.
Oh yeah, show us.
So, just so that I for the little few times that I did the swimming in here, I had my Garmin on open water swim, turned the GPS off, and I'm gonna just save it so that you can see. I think it'll
296.
show me. So I swam 296 yards, which is about a 2:15 per 100 yard pace for 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So, and it gives you like your stats, and then if you save it to the Garmin app, it gives you even more stats. But again, it's an estimate.
Yep.
So I would, I don't know if it's perfect.
It's not perfect.
Compared to
No,
what
we do
I
know.
would be swimming in the pool, but at least I know that some days when I swim a little bit harder, my time is a little bit less per 100. If I'm
Sure.
doing a gentle, it's standard.
It gives you a
So,
gauge
yeah.
to know whether you're above fitness level or below it.
Right.
And it works real well. All
I
right.
will tell you, my watch right now, with my lack of running and biking, is saying that I'm in D training, so that is not a nice feeling for the mental.
But you have a broken foot, and fixing
So
that
I'm-
is most important,
Right.
Dr. Cudicelli. So
Right.
sit there and shush it up.
Okay, so that's
All
what,
right.
and we use that, and I know a lot of athletes who have swim spas. They are doing the same thing with their Garmin.
Pamela, what about that it turns off in 15 minutes? Can that be adjusted?
No,
No, it can't.
in the Trainer 15, that's a safety setting. So
Pete, did you custom make your steps? Can you give a better look at them? I did custom make them, and yes, I can.
you have
It's-
a bug on your shirt.
Are you sure it's not the microphone?
Yes,
Where is it?
it's below the microphone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So what you have here, this is a raised deck, and then I believe that is 32 inches from the top of the swim spot of the deck, which is a little too much to sit in. So we made this one long step, and it's nice. It doesn't move. It's all pressure treated under there, and then we wrapped it in the same material as the deck so that it looked, looks awesome, but it works really well.
It looks really
And that's exactly from there to the top of the swim spa is 24 inches, which is the exact measurement that I recommend so that you can sit your tush and then hop right in, and it's perfect. All right. Actually, if you want to see, just if you're tuning in, the deck comes up around my swim spa, and I did this myself. I'm not a carpenter, but it came out pretty well. That's not bad for a non-carpenter, right? So it's 1 foot. So this is a 5 foot tall swim spa. There's exactly 48 inches above the deck. We just took the edge off, and I didn't want to do a vault, so that's how we did it. And then you come over here, then the back deck, one little step. It's awesome. You can walk out here barefoot. It's nice and cool. This stuff is great. Came out really terrific. All
We have
right.
another question.
Go ahead.
What is the best way to maintain our swim spa when we're out of town for 1 to 2 weeks? That's from Dan in Nebraska.
Yep. You want me to answer that?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'll spin it on me for a second there.
I'm done swimming?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to come out?
I just want to take the
I'm trying to find a spot where the sun's not directly in my eyes. So, okay, so leaving, what you want to do is I would turn the temperature down, only because cooler water requires less chemistry, less care and maintenance. And then I would wash the filters, I would turn up the filter cycle, and then I would crush it with chlorine so that it was way too high, and go. Knock yourself out. It should be fine when you get back. That's what I do. The swim spa at the warehouse does not have Master Pure or a circ pump, so we would turn that up to like, I don't know, 12 or 16 hours. If we were going to be gone for 2 weeks, I would turn it up that high. And then, of course, this one has Master Pure, so it's got the circ pump, so you don't really have to do that on that, in that exact scenario. So, but we would have to, if I went away for 2 weeks, bless you, then, oh, did you take your hat off?
Yes.
She took her hat off. It's silly, silly. So then we take care of 2. If I go away for 2 weeks, we're prepping 2 for that same scenario. And it's easy. It's not a problem. What's the worst thing that happened? Come, test it, see where it is, bring your alkalinity up, and if it dropped, and fix it. Not a problem. All right? All right.
And then the last question is from Shelby in California about how much chlorine should I put in each day of swimming if it's just me?
What kind of swim spa? What's
Doesn't say.
doesn't say. So, obviously for an exact measurement would depend on gallons and where you normally keep it. If you keep it at 1 or 3 ppm, but I mean I would use, I don't know, maybe I'm bet. I don't know if it's that much. Half an ounce for sure. I mean, just a small amount, like a couple of tablespoons, a couple of bottle caps.
Yeah.
Start with that, and if it's getting cloudy, it's not enough. I don't measure it, so I'm sort of a bad person to ask that. I just put a little in, and as you can see, the water looks pretty cool. All right, I'll spin that around. It's a nice day out. You look like you're nice and relaxed in there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Let's see if we've got any other questions. Hi there.
Hello. Hi. Well, Ben's looking for that. We will be back in 2 weeks.
I think we're good. We can answer them later.
Wednesday, September 8th will be our next Facebook Live.
Did you just do that math? Or did you already look it up?
I already knew what it was.
Okay.
So it's Wednesday, September 8th, 4 o'clock, and we'll be back then in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
If you have any questions in the meantime, we'll come back and check tonight on Facebook Live.
Yep.
Or you can always send us a message on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Have fun swimming in your swim spot.
Be good. See you in 2 weeks.